Hi, I'm Julie Duell. Welcome to Spotlight on Sparks. My first guest today is Kevin Prater. And Kevin, we had talked before a little bit about our East Prater Way stormwater project. We talked about it last show, but I wanted to bring that up again. Can you remind me about that project, what it is all about?
Absolutely, Julie. It's a project that we are very excited about on the utility engineering side of the house. What the project aims to do is to address some of the reoccurring flooding that we've seen primarily at the East Prater Way and Vista Drive intersection in Sparks. Typically on, we call it a 5-year reoccurring basis, we've seen where a big thunderstorm will set up over the Paras and dump so much water, it collects at that intersection, and then we see that intersection becomes closed down to the traveling public for upwards of 12 hours by the time that water can recede, and then our public works crews can get in and clean that up. And it's a huge impact to the businesses, the commercial businesses and the residential properties near that intersection. If you think of that intersection, there's Northern Nevada Medical Center, there's a Renown Urgent Care, there's a dialysis facility, there's a couple of senior living facilities, there's a memory care facility, and then our own Sparks Police Department is located to the west of that intersection. And so there's a significant amount of stakeholders that are impacted when that intersection is covered with floodwaters and then impassable to the traveling public. And so what this project will do is we're going to construct a storm drain pump station to be able to collect that storm water and then pump it through a force main down Prater Way to the North Truckee Drain so that it can naturally flow out of Sparks through the North Truckee Drain.
So it should significantly help any kind of localized flooding that should be in that area.
It should significantly help. The project uses a 5-year reoccurring design storm, and so when we see that 5-year storm, we should see water completely mitigated. The intersection should remain dry from a flood standpoint. We will certainly see larger storms than that design storm over time, but this project will mitigate and reduce the amount of time that those storms impact that intersection compared to if we weren't to do the project at all.
The reason I wanted to bring it up again too is because at a recent city council meeting, council approved a professional services contract for that same project. What is that about?
Yes, the professional services agreement is with Atkins Engineering. They're the design engineer, and we brought them on board for some construction administration, some testing, and some inspection with this project. This project is a larger scale than we normally do on a year-to-year basis with the city. And with that larger scale of project, and then also with the scope, including a pump station and a force main, some work that we don't do on a reoccurring basis here at the city, we felt it very important to bring on an expert to be able to help us manage that from an administration standpoint throughout construction, in addition to bringing on some personnel to perform the testing and inspection that's required with that pump station and that force main work.
Okay, so timeline for this project, and then I do want to talk to you, in addition to the timeline, a little bit about how this project is funded.
Absolutely. We will be looking to begin the project in January of 2021, and the schedule that we had outlined for work to proceed is approximately 5 months. So we'll see this project begin, we anticipate it to begin in January, continue through the end of May into June time frame for completion. In terms of how the project is funded, our utility projects, as you're well aware of at Sparks, are funded through residential and commercial property owners, both on the sanitary sewer and on the storm drain side. And so this project is 100% funded out of our storm drain fund, which is from fees collected from residential property owners, commercial property owners. And we take that very seriously. We always want to be good stewards of the funding that we receive from the Sparks residents. And we're very excited to be able to construct a project off the funding that we've collected from Sparks residents to help benefit both the residential properties and the commercial properties in the vicinity of this project.
So residents and commercial businesses see a small fee come out of on their sewer bill. They see that come out, and that's what you're talking about specifically, right?
That's correct. When a private party residence or a commercial property is assessed their quarterly sewer fee, it's actually monthly on the commercial side, quarterly on the residential side. A portion of that goes to storm drain infrastructure, and that's what's funding this project.
Great, great. Okay, so it starts in January, ends maybe May, June. What kind of just impact can maybe drivers see through this project?
There will certainly be an impact to the traveling public, and we have been working with our design engineer, and now that we have Aspen Developers, who's the general contractor for the project, we have them on board. We've begun to discuss and work through the traffic control plan. We certainly, it's certainly important to us to minimize the impact to the traveling public as best as we can. And so we'll be working with the contractor, with the design engineer, to identify ways that we can minimize that impact to the traveling public while still accomplishing the work that needs to be required underground to complete the project.
So an important project just for everyone to kind of have the heads up about, and we'll be putting out a lot more information on our social media channels and website and such of any impacts coming up as well.
Absolutely.
So anything that I missed that you want to mention about the project?
Just to reiterate, a very important project for us, one that's kind of been in the pipeline and been a concept for quite some time, and now we're in a position to be able to fund it. We've got an excellent design that was prepared by Atkins Engineering, and we've got a very good general contractor on board with Aspen Developers, and we're excited to move into the construction phase.
Great, great. Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate the information. And my next guests today are Councilman Christopher Dare and Jim Gee with the RTC. And I wanted to talk to you both about the Rtc Flex Ride that's going to be in Sparks. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
The Rtc Flex Ride service is our brand new public transit offering. It actually started as a pilot out here in Sparks last November, and it is a curb-to-curb service that essentially operates almost like an Uber or Lyft, where passengers can use their phone or call us, schedule a ride, the vehicle comes right to their curb, picks them up, and takes them anywhere within the general Sparks area. We started it as a pilot. It's been very successful, and so as a result, we've now made the service permanent and expanded it out to the Spanish Springs area.
Wow, so I've heard there's an app as well. So before I get into that, I wanted to talk to you, Councilman, about how important this project is to us here in Sparks.
This is something we have been waiting for, and everything from some of our elderly that live all the way out in Spanish Springs area, and then even just some of our apartments, some different people who have need for this. It's so crucial, and we're so excited about it. And I would just like to mention, our late Mayor Ron Smith, he fought for this, and they've been talking about this for a while, so we're finally here where we have services out into different parts of Sparks, and we're very excited, very excited.
Thank you, Councilman, and I'm so excited to just hear what a project that was for Ron and how it came to fruition. That's awesome. So, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that app. Can you tell me about it?
Sure, you can download the app from either the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. It's called Rtc Flex Ride, very easy to remember. And with the app, you can use it to schedule your trip, to see where your vehicle is at any time, to get a real-time update on when the vehicle is expected to be at your house or store or wherever you're traveling to. And it's a very simple, easy way to manage your trip and be able to get to where you need to go in the community.
So say I'm just going to be going to the grocery store. I just download that app. I just go in, say, here's my address in Sparks. I need to go to Rayleigh's, and it'll tell what's available and all of that.
Absolutely. What it'll do first is first you have to pick the Rayleigh's. But once you pick the Rayleigh's, it will tell you when you can expect your vehicle. And generally, it's been anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes every time someone books. And then when the vehicle pulls up, you'll get an alert on your phone, and then you'll get real-time updates throughout the process. It'll tell you when you expect to get the Rayleigh's, and when you want to book that return trip, again, you just do the same thing. Pull out the app, book the trip, Again, it'll tell you real time when the vehicle expects to be there and how long you'll expect to be on the bus.
Great. Anything that you wanted to add about that?
Yeah, well, one is I think if you're listening to this is something that even if you want to take a break from driving, man, I'm so interested. I don't like driving. So I love the idea. I'm going to use this because I want to. Sometimes it's just great the idea you could just get in, to go somewhere you need to go, come back, relax, not be the one driving. But I'll say there's a zone that he's talking about that it would take you to. So there's certain things in that zone, it will bring you right to where you're going. And there's other times it will take you to where there's a bus.
Right.
Another bus line. So that's something that important for people to understand, that it doesn't necessarily take you anywhere you want to go, like an Uber fully would, but in certain zones, and you have to look at that on that app. It will show you how far you can go, or it'll tell you, hey, we'll take you to this bus line, and then that bus line can take you to the places you need to go if it's into Reno or other places.
So you may be a little bit further out from a bus stop, and so you would just be able to take the Flexride to your bus stop and then maybe go to your destination from there.
Yes, absolutely. We do connect with the regular RTC service at Centennial Plaza, which is right next door to Victorian Square. But generally what we've seen in Sparks is a lot of it is Sparks residents who are just simply moving around the community, be it to the senior center or to Rayleigh's, and now with options to Costco and Walmart.
Oh, that's excellent. That just sounds so good. So anything that I missed, I did want to ask about the schedule. Is there a certain schedule for Flexride?
There is. It's on weekdays from 5:30 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, and on weekends from 6 a.m. in the morning to 10:30 at night. And to book a ride, again, we recommend folks use the app, but if you are not a smartphone person, you could also just call us at 335-0035, and you'll get the ride booked that way.
Anything that I missed that's important to talk about?
I just speak to business for a minute. One of the concerns I get is from a lot of businesses who call and say, we can't get people here to work for us because we don't have access to public transit. Now you do. And so there's a way to do this. So this isn't just for those living here, but those who are trying to figure out how to get people to come to your place so you can work for you. And I know, again, I've talked to 2 or 3 different businesses just recently trying to figure that out. So it's going to be fantastic for the business population, but also just for Sparks residents.
It just sounds so great. I'm excited, and I think I'm going to get some video of Councilman Dare getting on this bus so we can show a little bit more about it.
So we've been talking about the Rtc Flex Ride, and so what I did, there's an app we've been talking about, and I went on into my Apple app thing, and I think it's on Google as well, and you just put in Rtc Flex. It comes up, you download it, and then you go in, you just have to put in a few personal information of your name and stuff like that, but then you click where you want to go. And so I'm saying I want to go from the senior center to my house. I put that in, I hit confirm location, and voila, bam! It tells me it's going to cost me $2 for me to go from there to my house. Now that would be a nice long walk, and I almost think that I'd rather do that than drive my own car, because man, I could read, I can hang out, I can do whatever I want, I can work. So this is exciting. It says one rider. I can change that if I want. And I go on and it says next, and I request ride. So if I push that button, there's gonna be someone heading that way, and I'm gonna do it just so you can see it. But, and check it out. It's been requested. They say wait up to in 2 minutes they'll be there. Isn't that amazing? So bam, for $2 I can get all the way home. Because it's in that zone, they'll take you right to where you wanna go. If it's outside that zone, it's gonna take you over to the bus that will take you to where you want to go as well. So very exciting stuff. App's so easy to use. That is Rtc Flex Ride that you want to go on there and do. So have fun, go take a ride, maybe a family trip, take it around City Sparks.
And my next guest is Nicole Lamboli. She is CEO of the Food Bank of Northern Nevada. And Nicole, I really wanted to tell you thank you for being here and talk to you about how we're utilizing some CARES Act funding to really help you guys out a little bit.
Well, thank you for having us. We're excited. We are very grateful to the City of Sparks for allocating $75,000 to help us meet the needs of your community on food assistance during this pandemic.
So tell me how it came about. I know we are using $75,000 of CARES Act funding that we recently, our council just ratified the other day, so that check should be getting to you very soon. Tell me how that came about.
Well, certainly. You know, I know that addressing food insecurity is a priority for the region, and when the local governments received their CARES Act funding allocations, they indicated that addressing food insecurity was one of their top priorities. And so we put together a proposal to share information with all 3 jurisdictions about the need in the region and how each of those jurisdictions could help us using the CARES Act funding to support the increase that we are seeing because of the COVID pandemic. The CARES Act funds are restricted to increases related to COVID-19. And we unfortunately have seen a surge in the need for people needing emergency and supplemental food assistance. In the month of April, right after the closure of businesses in our region, we saw 128,000 households who needed food assistance. That's an increase from our normal 106,000 people that we serve monthly throughout our 90,000 square mile region. Washoe County is really about 70% of the service area that we serve locally, so the need is great. We have 13 food pantries here in the city of Sparks. We have 9 mobile harvest distribution sites. We serve our seniors, and we have 8 schools who are partners either by providing a backpack program or a school pantry. And during the pandemic, you know, the schools shut down and kids face food insecurity at enormously high rates in our community. We were able to provide, working with Washoe County School District, meals to those kids even despite school being closed.
Wow. Wow, and those were some of the questions I was going to ask you is how big of an increase have you seen throughout the pandemic?
We've seen about a 15,000 person increase monthly over fiscal year 19. In fiscal year 20, which just ended in June, we delivered over 20 million meals to our service area and moved about 23.5 million pounds of food. So that's significant, but we clearly have people in need. You know, people seek our assistance whenever their budgets fall short, their household monthly budgets. You know, they have to make choices. Do they pay their rent? Do they pay their mortgage? Do they purchase their medicines, or do they buy food? Fortunately, the Food Bank of Northern Nevada and our partners are here to help them meet their household food needs.
So how will the $75,000 that City of Sparks has granted, how will that help? How will that be used?
A good portion of it will be used to purchase food. As many people know, the grocery stores or shelves are not as full as they used to be, and we actually stopped doing food drives during the pandemic for a while. So our donated food had decreased significantly, so we were purchasing food. So we will use that, a good portion of those funds to purchase food to make sure that we have the inventory to meet the needs. We will also support some of the staff that actually do the distribution to our partners and to our clients, as well as we will replace a lift gate on one of our trucks. The amount of food and the weight of that food has put some strain, so we're able to use that to replace some much needed equipment. But the goal is really to make sure that we can provide food to people who need it.
Right, right. Well, I'm so glad that we're able to help with that with CARES Act funding. How else can people get involved or organizations get involved to help out?
You know, the great way to help the food bank is to collect food, do your own little mini food drive. We have information on our website about that, but also volunteering. Even despite the pandemic, we have relied on volunteers who are so critical to helping us meet our mission. In fact, volunteers are the equivalent of about 13 employees each year. So volunteers are very important to us. You can sign up to be a volunteer. We have sessions at our warehouse Tuesday through Saturday. We also have distribution volunteer activities. And to ensure the safety of our staff, our clients and volunteers. We have reduced the number of volunteers. We require people to wear masks, gloves, and to maintain social distancing. So while we have reduced the number of volunteers, we still have volunteer opportunities. The holiday season is upon us, and many people are starting to think about food drives. If you don't want to conduct a food drive, we also offer virtual food drives where people can do it online, and again, that information is available. But more importantly, if people need assistance, we encourage them to go to our website. It's fbnn.org, and click the button that says Get Help. It will give you all the pantry locations, the distribution schedules. So if you or someone you know needs assistance, please tell them to contact the Food Bank of Northern Nevada. We are here to provide food when people need it most.
Right. I wanted to touch back on the virtual food drives too, because I think City of Sparks will be holding one of those, and we'll be putting out some information on that as well. And I love that, because if you can't go shopping to get food to bring, you can donate 10, 20, 30, 50, whatever, how many dollars you want to donate. And it's a very easy way to give to the food bank, and we've been doing that for a few years around here at City of Sparks. I know that there's a formula that you guys have for how many meals each dollar provides. Can you tell me about that?
Sure. You can have a tremendous impact. For every dollar you donate, that provides 3 meals. So a $5 contribution provides 15 meals. It's a pretty good value, and there are people who need those meals.
Right. And touching one more time, if you need help, if you are somebody that needs help, and there's a lot of people out there that need help right now, tell me again how they can get help.
So you go to the website, FBNN, foodbankofnorthernnevada.org, and click the Get Help button, and then you scroll down and you will see our assistance pages. We offer assistance through our community neighborhood pantries, through mobile harvest distribution. If you're a senior, age 65 or older, we have a special program for seniors living on fixed incomes. We have a lot of programs designed to help meet the needs of people wherever they are.
Thank you. So much great information. What did I miss? Anything that you want to talk about?
No, I just want to tell the community how great it is to have the support of the community. The actions that the City Council took are incredible, and we are so grateful for that funding, and we will make sure that it helps feed people in our community during this time. And we encourage everyone to be safe and hope that many people can come out and volunteer and support the food bank however they choose.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. Great information. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for listening to this edition of Spotlight on Sparks. And again, if you can volunteer or you can provide for the food bank, we'd really encourage that. Thank you, and have a good day.